When you live in a medieval castle with lots and lots of rooms, you have to fill it. And I'm still working, so I am trying to figure out what I can do to be able to use this beautiful place where we live also, and to invite people in to our lives so that they can enjoy it just as much as we are. One of the things I'm doing is a detox day, and I'm going to be taking you through that. And also, when you live in a place so big, of course, and it's August and it's very hot, is you have guests, and guests, and guests. The realities of living in a castle is that when you clean all the sheets, the best way to dry them, because we don't have a dryer, is by using the banisters. Normally I have Daniela, who comes once a week to help me clean this enormous house. But it's August and she's with her 2 children, so it's up to Eric and me to take care of all of our guests on our own. I find housework, especially folding sheets, almost like a meditation. If I do it really well, it makes me feel so good. Getting pretty good at throwing these up in the air while I fold them. And with my brother arriving, we're a little bit in a pickle because it is really still hot here. It's almost 100 degrees every day. Even though the rooms are very large in the castle, it is hot inside because there are mosquitoes. You have to keep the windows closed. It doesn't cool down at night. And my brother and sister-in-law are American, and they are used to air conditioning. I know that everything's going to be fine, but we're a little bit nervous about what we're going to be doing with them. But luckily, I've got an idea. And I think that although I have a very different upbringing than my brother, I was raised in Brazil. I'm 10 years younger than he is. And so I didn't really spend a lot of time in America. We have polarized ideas of politics, so we love each other, but we don't talk about politics. So when you're together with family, what do? Well, I want to show him what our life is now so that they can really enjoy it. And that means showing them the past. So one of the things we're going to do is I'm going to ask Sergio and Anna, who live in the villa next door, if we can take a tour of the villa. And my sister-in-law is an interior decorator, so I'm sure she's going to find that very interesting. The medieval castle of Corcovado has been with the same family, passed down through various different marriages, since when it was built, which was by the bishops of Concordia in the medieval times. And much to my delight, Sergio and Anna agreed that they would take my brother and sister-in-law on a tour of their home. They couldn't decide what was more beautiful and exciting, the house itself or the charming Sergio as he showed them every single room within.
Another bedroom?
So Anna and Sergio, Federico and Artico.
And Artico's there.
I've never seen a bed like that.
Wow.
Look at that, Dana.
Isn't that magnificent? Beautiful bed. A beautiful
Beautiful
bed.
bed, yes. Good taste.
Good taste.
I'm in heaven.
Yeah. I said, Jane is an interior decorator.
So she can criticize everything.
No, I
you
appreciate-
can comment.
I appreciate your beauty.
No, but don't be afraid. Say everything because I'm very interested.
I love it, love it, love it.
Sergio explained that the flooring found in many villas such as this are made from leftover tiles from Roman mosaics. After all, our medieval village is based upon the origins of a Roman camp, although he thinks there's another reason too.
You know, the Friulani, they are very how can you say, they pay very attention only to a little stone. And
Yeah.
so they save the stone, and these are, they say, I don't know because it's not.
Friulani are very,
Very attentive. They very,
very tight. They're
yes.
very tight.
Yeah.
And can we go downstairs?
Eh?
Possiamo?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Everywhere you look is history, from the floors to the walls to even the ceilings. And, as always, a little touch of modernity, like the dartboard to the right of the stairwell. So this, the ceiling, like
Oh,
Sergio?
this is I think that one of the great parents of my wife were Masonic.
Oh yes,
Yes.
Freemasons.
So you see, you have many symbols. I don't have. I don't know. I'm not Mason anyway.
Sergio,
I'm free.
Sergio has two castles of his. Sergio has two castles of his
But
own.
one livable, the other
Yeah.
no. The other I only did it everything.
Outside.
Cioè, apparentemente
So from the
it's
outside.
good, but inside no, because it was destroyed by
There's a terrible earthquake. That's the famous Sala di Musica.
Yes.
Listening to myself translating from Italian into English, I realized that what used to drive me crazy about my brother was just a reflection of myself. Both of us love speaking foreign languages, and secretly I think that there was always a race between us to see just how many we could learn. This room, which is painted to look like a military tent, was created for Napoleon's impending visit to Friuli in 1797.
Money never came.
Oh, I heard that
So
story.
we spent money stupidly. Stupid. And so it was the salon of music salon of that man, uncle of Anna, bisdom of my wife, who was a perfect cellist and violinist. Okay.
So this was
Yeah.
painted to
And
resemble
this
the
was the
military tent.
military tent for Napoleon, and Napoleon never came. Later, I don't know.
Yeah.
Even though many of the colors were different for each room, it all worked because the rooms were large and the ceilings were tall,
Yeah.
and the ceilings were wooden, but there was a little bit of decoration in between the beams of the ceiling, and the doorway openings and above the door, and the doors themselves going into each room were beautiful.
Could you really notice all those details?
I do. You know, I'm telling you, these are the things that these are the things that I like. So anyway, and then all the family pictures, and you know, that go from the present all the way back centuries to the 1600s. You know, of the portraits on the wall, they were all their ancestors. It was great. It was
But don't you think, could you live with all that? Could you live with
I
all
don't know, but if it were your family, you probably could.
No, it's too much.
It is too
It's
much.
too much.
It's a lot.
It's too much. It's beautiful, but it's funny because in America, even in a place like Atlanta, which for the most part adores antiques and things like that, there's just not very much of it. You know, there's a few antiques, a few nice old houses, and then everything else. Here, there's like nothing but old things and antiques and family paintings and everywhere. And
You can feel it on your
and
shoulders.
it's almost it's almost too heavy. Even if you love it, it's almost too much. So I don't know what you can do. Maybe dematerialize the castle and put it in Highlands, North Carolina, and then everybody would say, "Wow, look at that!"
Well, in any case, it was very impressive.
And now, with the ice broken between us, we could just sit back and enjoy each other. But with the temperatures soaring above 100 degrees, we decided the best way to do it is from an air-conditioned car. By the time we got home, we found that the heat wave was starting to break, and strange medieval characters were redirecting cars away from our village and then rushing onto bicycles to go back into the castle walls. And since our home is right in the center of everything, we decided to have a look. We walked past Carlo and Benedetta's homes, out of the gate, and onto the cobblestone street that runs right through the castle. And then, beyond Hamid's cafe and shop, we discovered that time has been playing tricks with us again, and Cordovato has been transformed back into a medieval town. This isn't an ancient tradition, but it was something new that was set up by the local pharmacist a few years ago, who saw the medieval festival of the town of Palio and decided that he wanted to bring it back to Cordovato, and so he did. We're on our way to the medieval day of Cordovato. And so we've been hearing drums for weeks now as they've been practicing.
Yeah, exactly. At 11 o'clock at night.
Exactly. And right now it's the corteo, which means that everyone's dressed in their costumes and they are going to do a corteo. They're going to do a procession that leads to the village church, and they're going to have a medieval mass. It's a wonderful combination of medieval costumes and local villagers. And there's even bagpipes. When I saw the bagpipes, it makes me realize that now that we have a home, it's time to pull my own pipes out of the storage and to start to play them again. I don't think there's any coincidence that there's an increasing amount of festivals like these. We are living in extraordinary times where one world order is fading and another hasn't emerged yet. And with all this change, everyone is searching for security and roots, and festivals and rituals like these are one way to make a person feel as if they belong and are connected. So it doesn't really matter if Eric is Jewish and my brother is Buddhist and my sister-in-law is Protestant and we're living in a Catholic country. We can all attend the Mass, Eric to draw, me to listen to the music, and all of us to celebrate the magic of Cordovato come to life. The spiritual teacher Ram Dass once said, if you think you're enlightened, try spending a week with your family. And that's what we just did. And you know, it worked. Time has allowed us to accept the differences between us and to respect each other's opinions, even if we don't agree with them. Besides, we only really have one family, and that's humanity. And we also really only have one home, and that's the planet. And when you look at it that way, things become simple. The only way forward is to find ways to come together. And that's what Starting Fresh is all about. So if you like this episode, then subscribe and press the like button. I'd love you to join us on this journey. I read each and every one of your comments, and they inspire me to make more videos like this so we can share a better future together. And thanks for watching.